Mercury is one of the basic chemical elements. It is a heavy, silvery metal that is liquid at normal temperatures. Mercury readily forms alloys with other metals, and this makes it useful in the processing of gold and silver. There are four main steps for the extraction of mercury, which are mining, roasting, condensing, and lastly, refining. So in the first step, which is mining, the cinnabar ore, which is also known as mercury sulfide, occurs in concentrated deposits located at or near the surface. About 90% of these deposits are deep enough to require underground mining with tunnels. The remaining 10% can be excavated from open pits. In this process, the cinnabar ore is dislodged from the surrounding rocks by drilling and blasting with explosive or by using power equipment. The ore is brought out of the mine on conveyor belts or in trucks or trains. The second step is roasting. Because cinnabar ore is relatively concentrated, it can be processed directly without any intermediate steps to remove waste materials. The ore is first crushed in one or more cone crushers. A cone crusher consists of an interior grinding cone that rotates a centric vertical axis inside a fixed outer cone. As the ore is fed into the top of the crusher, it squeezes between two cones and broken into smaller pieces. The crushed ore is then ground even smaller by a series of mills. Each mill consists of a large cylindrical container laying on its side and rotating on its horizontal axis. The mills may be filled with short lengths of steel rods or with steel balls to provide the grinding action. The finely powdered ore is fed into a furnace to be heated. The heated cinnabar, which is also known as mercury sulfide, reacts with the oxygen in the air to produce sulfur dioxide, allowing the mercury to rise up as a vapor. This process is called roasting. To give you more insight about this process, cinnabar is first heated in air. This turns mercury sulfide or cinnabar into mercury oxide by liberation of sulfur dioxide. Then, the mercury oxide is then heated strongly. This reduces the mercury oxide to mercury metal in its vapor form. The next step is condensing. The mercury vapor rises up and out of the furnace along with the sulfur dioxide, water, vapor, and also other products of combustion. Then, the hot furnace exhaust passes through a water-cooled condenser. As the exhaust cools the mercury, which has a boiling point of 357 Celsius, is the first to condense into liquid, leaving the other gases and vapors to be vented or to be processed further to reduce air pollution. The last step in this condensing process is the collection of the liquid mercury. Because mercury has a very high specific gravity, any impurities tend to rise to the surface and form a dark film of scum. These impurities are removed by filtration, leaving a liquid of mercury that is about 99.9% pure. The last step is refining. Most commercial grade mercury is 99% pure and can be used directly from the roasting and condensing process. Higher purity mercury is needed for some limited applications and must be refined further. The most common refining method is triple distillation, in which the temperature of the liquid mercury is carefully raised until the impurities either evaporate or the mercury itself evaporates. Leaving the impurities behind, this distillation process is performed 3 times with the purity increasing each time. What are the economical impacts of mercury? Well, mercury is still an important component in many products and processes, although its use is expected to continue to decline as there are other less dangerous substitutes that can be used. Improved handling of recycling of mercury are expected to significantly reduce its release to the environment and thereby reduce its health hazards. And as of the price for today, the highest grade of mercury can go from upwards from Rm 400 per 50 grams. Mercury becomes a problem for the environment when it is released from rock and ends up in the atmosphere and in the water. Human activities are responsible for much of the mercury that is released into the environment due to not properly disposing them. Exposure to mercury, even in the smallest amount, may cause serious health problems and is a threat to the development of the child in the urethra and early in life. Mercury may have toxic effects on nervous system, digestive, immune systems, and on lungs, kidney, skins, and eyes too.